Good morning. Another edition of building in Florida. So I'd spent about a week. So if you look, you see the beam crew finish. They poured 2 days ago. So they stripped the forms off. So we'll focus on this one here. So it's a precast, or not precast, but they poured in place cap on top of all the walls, over the windows, and over the tops of the walls in most areas. So what that does, and you can see where the concrete's poured all the way down to the floor and then into the rebar that was tied to the footings below. So that's where it gets the phrase tie beam. That ties the top of the house is actually tied to the footing with rebar and solid concrete. You see the holes at the bottom now are filled. Those cores going all the way up that block is all filled with concrete. You can also notice, you'll see this truss straps. They're in the tie beam. So once the trusses go up, those get strapped over the top of the trusses and hold the trusses down for uplift. So when we have a hurricane, no lift. So you can see the areas over there where there's just cinder block, you don't see the concrete poured cap. That's going to be actually where the second floor is. So that's actually just poured top, and that's where the floor trusses will actually go, because this is a two-story house. You know, we're running a little long, but the one thing I wanted to show you is this piece on the ground here. So it's just a U-shaped precast piece. That's called a bond beam. It's actually a less expensive way to build, and it's very common down here. So if you can get away with a bond beam, it'll keep the cost of the house down. But we leave it up to the engineers to determine whether or not we have to have a tie beam or a bond beam. And a tie beam is almost always used over large window and door openings, and you can see there's a lot of large window and door openings in this particular house. So in this house, that's the garage. Lumber's being delivered. Start building the bearing wall so we can get floor trusses in. And you can see the whole opening around the entry is all cast in place or poured in place concrete with rebar. Pretty sure that if we have a hurricane, I know where I'm staying. This house will be safe. Thank you. Get back to you, Mighty House, building in Florida.